Hi, family. Hi, friends. Hi, food lovers. Hey, neighbors. Hey, community. Hey, comics. People who like to cook, connect, and kvetch. Thanks so much for joining me for Hot Dish.
Hello, and welcome to Hot Dish. I'm your host, Lauren Huberman. Each week, I cook up something tasty while chatting with a special guest. This week, I'm going to be making Indian-ish nachos, as described by the New York Times cooking website. I will tell you, these nachos are supposed to be spicy, unique, different, and they're a 5-star recipe, which I love. And just like these 5-star nachos, my guest today is a 5-star comic. He's very funny. He's a native Chicagoan. You can find him performing all over the city. And I'm so excited to have him, Ben Noble.
Hey, what happened, Lauren? What's going on? Hey.
Hey. Welcome. Thanks for joining, Ben.
No problem. That sounds good. Nachos, Indian-ish nachos.
I know. I'm making them for you, and I so wish you could be here with me today.
I wish I was.
I know. I should have told you what we were going to make, and then you would have been like, "Oh yeah, I'm there no matter what."
Yeah, let me catch. You know what? Let's save me a plate. I'll come later on tonight.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, I have been known to do drop-offs. I don't know if I'll be near you today, but we'll see.
Nice.
Yeah. So, how's it going with you?
It's going good. Pretty good. Enjoying this weekend. Enjoying this nice weather. So yeah. So I'm soaking it all in, but staying COVID free.
Good.
Staying, doing the protocol. So I'm doing good. I'm happy.
Good.
I'm great.
Excellent. Yeah. No, same here. It's been a crazy 14 or so months. Yeah. What have you been like? Have you had any big revelations or like reflections about the 14 months or so?
Well, it's crazy you saying it in 14 months. That sounds like a long time. Like shit, I didn't realize it. You make it sound so much worse. Like 14 months. Yeah, that's a long damn.
It's like a baby. Yeah.
Yeah, my monthly baby's 14 months. God damn. Let's say 1 years old. Let's say that.
Yeah. The past year with this baby of ours. Yeah.
But no, yeah. During this time, you get to learn a lot about yourself, things that you didn't really know. I know something that I need to learn, that I need to work on my discipline with a lot of stuff. They're like, okay, we're going to be locked. I'm going to lift weights. I'm going to eat better. None of that shit happened. I worked out for like 2 weeks and that was it. So I need to work on my discipline. It's been getting a lot better, but yes, this 14 months locked in definitely taught me about working on being more disciplined about my health and anything else.
No, and I think that's true of a lot of people, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the past few months, I've just been kind of a slob, and like I was very disciplined at first, and now it's just all gone downhill.
Yeah, I think everybody was disciplined for like 3 days. Yeah. And then they were like, okay, fuck that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm done with this. Oh my goodness. Well, Ben, we met at Backroom Comedy, and you were one of the performers, and that, of course, obviously that's the showcase that I run with Colleen and Courtney and Jessica at a live one. And Colleen had booked you, and I had never met you before or seen you do your stand-up, and it was so delightful. And you were so great.
Thank you.
Yeah. And now you're performing all over the city. I've seen your Instagram, and you're headlining at Zany's, and you're at Laugh Factory, and you've got pop-up shows, and it's great.
Yeah, it's so good. Like, especially after this break, I didn't know how comedy was going to be getting back into the swing of things, and I'm glad I'm like hitting the floor running. Because things are opening back up. Let's get these shows back going, and I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it.
That's wonderful. I'm so glad. So what got you into stand-up?
Well, got me to stand-up. Man, so as a kid, the first comedian I really knew that who a comedian was, the whole idea of stand up and just comedy, was Jay Leno. I used to stay up, watch his night show, watch his monologue. But watching Jay Leno, watching Tonight Show was the only way I could stay up late with my mother. I think Tonight Show came at like 10:30. If I was, I was able to sit with her, watch Jay Leno, watch his monologue, and I'll be asleep by the time the first guest come up. But seeing him do those 5-minute monologues was my first time really seeing stand up. I'm like, this is amazing, dude. It's funny. I don't know who Jay Leno is, but so as a kid, like I always wanted to do that. But I guess when I got to college, I wanted to do stand up. I want to try this, but I didn't know how, like writing a joke, how to be funny, how to write a joke, the whole concept of creating a joke, doing stand up on stage. Then I just saw like, I think it was Cat Williams, Pimp Chronicles. Mm-hmm. When I saw that special, I'm like, okay, I'm finna figure this out because I need to do that. That was one of the funniest specials I've ever seen, and it really like pushed me to live out the dream of being a comedian.
Wow, very cool. I haven't seen that, and I will watch it like tonight.
Yeah, it's very, very raunchy, very Cat Williams, but this was the highlight of Cat Williams. Yeah, it's crazy. It's one of my favorite specials of all time.
Wow, cool. And so you just felt inspired, and so how did you actually learn how to write jokes and get up and perform?
So after college, I didn't do comedy in college at all. I was just too nervous and didn't know how to do it. So after college, me and my friend didn't find a job yet. My friend went to an open mic and said, "Ben, do you want to go to a comedy open mic?" I said, "Of course." And that was my first time seeing amateurs, because I thought that my first time on stage, I would have to be like Cat Williams, Jay Leno, Kevin Hart. But I saw open micers. I'm like, oh, this guy suck. I can do better. I can do that. So that gave me the confidence to like, I will come back next week, write 3 minutes. So I Google like how to write a joke. Okay, what's the premise? Okay, you gotta have a premise, have a punchline. So I sat down, wrote like 3 minutes of jokes, and I told myself if I'm bomb, I won't do it again. And if it's good, I'm gonna keep going. And then it was okay. I didn't bomb. So
wow, that's awesome. Yeah, and then you probably bombed like 50 other times.
But I didn't bomb the first. I bombed the second and third time, but I didn't bomb the first time. But it's so crazy how seeing open micers or seeing people, open micers, that would boost my confidence to do it. Like if I didn't go to the open mic, I probably would have never done it because I just assumed that you got to be Eddie Murphy your first time on stage. And, yeah.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense. It's so funny though, because open mics are they can be like depleting. So yeah, that makes sense though. If you have very high expectations, like everyone's going to be amazing at an open mic, and then you go and you're like, no, they're not.
Yeah.
Then of course you feel like more confident.
Exactly. And then, not even at that point, not even knowing what open mics is for, I didn't know some people might have been trying out new jokes, just trying things. Sometimes you have to bomb to figure out what's new. But for somebody who's never been to open mic, it was just, oh, they suck. I can do this. Not really the case, but.
Totally. Yeah. Okay. So now I'm going to start on the nachos. I'm just going to start what is it called? It is our cilantro chutney. So Ben, I am gonna put cilantro in my little mini Cuisinart. So I've got to say this is an easy recipe, but it requires a lot of chopping and preparation.
Yeah, I've been ordering like Blue Apron.
Yeah.
I don't know how to cook, so let me get Blue Apron to teach me what to do. And a lot of the foods are easy to make. It's just the preparation, man.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, it's so much preparation. That's like the most time-consuming part with a lot of recipes.
I didn't know that.
I mean, for me, For stuff like this, I always feel like Mexican recipes, especially, there's a lot of chopping, like all the different taco stuff you can prepare, and the seasonings and the toppings, and okay, so let me think. I put in a cilantro, I put in a serrano chili pepper, and I removed the seeds yesterday, and I always do this, and then my hands have the spice on it. And if I touch my mouth or I eat something, then my lips are on fire for like 10 hours. It's no good. I need to wear gloves.
Gloves, yeah.
Yeah. And I always wear I wear goggles to cut onions, but I already cut them, so you can't have me in my goggles. But
one with the goggles.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And actually, Ben, that makes me think of one of your stand-up jokes. So first of all, I should say, like, I love your stand-up, and I love that you talk about being visually impaired. And you talk about being legally blind.
Yes.
Will you describe a little bit about what that means, those two terms, and which one you use, and just kind of what they each mean?
Yeah. So I think that's part of the issue, not really the issue, but it's such a wide range of the scriptures for those two words. So if I use visually impaired or legally blind, it may mean something different for somebody else. But the technical definition for legally blind is somebody their vision is 20/200 with the best correctional vision that technology can give you. So even with glasses, at best, your vision is 20/200. And I use visual impairment a lot just because it's a simpler word to say. People understand it a little better. But yeah, for me, it's just I use visually impaired a lot because it's just, I don't know, I think it's just smoother off the tongue. Visually impaired just sounds better.
Yeah.
I do wish it was like a different word though, like, blind. When people hear blind, they automatically think, no vision. There should be like another term instead of legally blind. It should be just a whole nother term to describe somebody that's visually impaired. And I think it'll make it easier. Like, for example, like if somebody breaks a leg, you have a broken leg, but you also have a sprain. You have a fracture. You can have different type of injuries, and it should be like that for visually impaired people, but it's not.
Yeah.
I think that's where a lot of confusion comes from.
I would imagine that's the case. Hang on one second. Okay, so I'm just going to blend this, and then we're going to keep talking about that. So okay. I'm blending our cilantro chutney, which has some sugar and cilantro, lime, and the serrano chili, and it'll just be a sec.
Nice.
Okay, now it's supposed to be smooth, and it's not. So, like everything that I do,
it's chunky.
It's chunky. So I'm going to add a little bit of water, and I'm just going to try and blend it once more. And we'll see how this works. Okay, well, it's not getting any better. And
it's called a chunky. That's all. It's chunky now. Like chunky soup. It's the chunky version.
It's the chunky version of our chutney sauce. And it's going to remain chunky because I don't know how to get it any smoother. I also do not own a blender. I own a mini Cuisinart. So that's what I'm using. And maybe the blender would make it smoother, but we're moving on.
We're moving on.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we have our chutney. And is there anything else I need to do? Okay, I need to mash the black beans a little bit. So I have these black beans in a bowl, and I'm supposed to mash them and add a little salt. And the mashing is so that they don't roll off the chips when I layer them on.
Okay.
So it's very advanced, very
yeah, a lot of logistics, it sounds like. Very.
It's a lot of logistics I have going over here. So, sorry, I have hair in my mouth, which isn't good for a podcast. And last week I had blood on my face,
Oh man,
which is also not good for a podcast that's on video.
This is a crazy podcast. Blood in the hair and chunky and chunky sauce.
It's wild over here, Ben. This is the type of life that I lead. So no, that makes a lot of sense about what you're saying with the different terms. I mean, visually impaired to me implies a whole range, but I'm sure it's a really wide range. And legally blind does, for me, it evokes like, no, that's the image where I see someone who has like no vision, and it's just it sounds very different to me.
If you could be legally blind but have, you can have tunnel vision, you can have one eye, you can have full range in both eyes, but just very cloudy, or it's so many different ways, so many different variations. Blindness is a spectrum, is what I like to say, and it's very unique to the person, and that because you're legally blind, that doesn't mean you see this one certain type of way. Actually, to be honest, I think statistically, 90% of people that's legally blind, 10% of people that's legally blind are completely blind. So most people with the tools technically legally blind have some sort of vision.
So it's only 10% who don't have any.
Yes.
Yeah. And are those people typically born that way if they don't have any vision? Do you know or not?
I don't know the percentage of that, but a lot of times either born or like due to injuries. Due to injuries. And some conditions cause it, but I think I want to say more than not they're born with it, but I don't know that percentage. Yeah. That statistic for sure.
No, I'm just curious. So I said that about the goggles. That reminded me of you and your stand-up, because one of your jokes, you talk about wearing goggles.
Yes.
And you talk about wearing goggles during sex, which is hilarious.
Yep, the love-making goggles.
Your love-making goggles. It's so perfect.
A lot of people ask after the show, like, are those real? I need to make that merch, like, but have some goggles and have love-making goggles on the side of the goggles.
Man. Yeah, absolutely. People would totally be into that. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. No, but I love it. And I love that you talk about it on stage, because I mean, to be honest, I don't know I don't know anyone who is visually impaired. I don't think I do. Yeah. I don't think I do.
I didn't know anybody until me. So I was the first legally blind person I know. So I noticed that. And I think because of that, people don't really know what visual impairment or the people that go through. And I think I have a platform where I'm telling jokes, talking to a lot of people. I talk to, a lot of people. I mean, you too, comedian, you talk to a lot of people. And I think that this is my chance to give a voice to people with visual impairment and just what we go through, and, all that good stuff. And it's funny, it's interesting, it's unique, it's things that people, if you don't know, it's a lot of things that you won't even know that we go through or do. So I'm glad I could be the voice. I'm trying to be the voice of people with visual impairment.
Yeah. And so, like, what is your history? How did you lose some of your eyesight?
I have due to a condition called sarcoidosis. Sarcoidosis is an autoimmune condition similar to like lupus and Crohn's. It affects my eyes and my liver, and it's been in remission out of my liver, but in my eyes, it affects the retina, and the retina is the only part of the eye with irreversible damage. So sometime when a sarcoidosis flares up, I lose some vision, and then that vision I won't get back.
Wow.
But for most part, it's pretty stable. It's just trying not for it to flare up again. So yeah, it's due to sarcoid, and it affects my retina.
Wow.
So like retina scarring, it's not retina detachment, but it's similar. If people have like retina detachment, it's similar to it. I have a lot of retina scarring.
Retina scarring. So okay, I this is so bad. I'm like, now it's time for me to put the corn chips on the sheet.
Retina scarring. Now it's time for the corn chips.
Listen, I really care about your retinas, but I care more about these nachos. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I am layering the corn chips on the sheet pan, and the sheet pan is lined with tinfoil, which of course makes it easy to clean up. So I'm gonna layer the tortilla chips, and then what am I supposed to put? The chips, followed by the beans, the onions, the tomatoes, and the cheese. So I chopped a lot of this last night, so I wouldn't be, having to do all of this on the spot. So I'm putting on the beans. Yeah. But Ben, so how do you keep it from flaring up? Like this condition.
This is a ooh-wee. So it's easy to keep it from flaring up.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why it flares up is because some insurance issues, whatever. I take like a monthly infusion, and it costs about $15,000.
What?
And I gotta do it every month.
Oh my God.
So if sometimes there's some blip in the insurance or a change of insurance or whatever where I can't afford it.
Oh my God.
And yeah.
Don't
and
you just love the US? Yeah.
Exactly. Literally, a lot of my vision loss is due to not being able to afford this procedure.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I'm
That
gonna move to Canada.
Yeah, exactly. Holy moly. And that's what sucks so bad about having insurance linked to employment, that it's like any type of change. I'm sure it's the biggest ordeal for you.
Yeah, I think, again, it is a really tough condition, but it's easily tolerable once you get it down, so
Mm-hmm.
the only thing that messes up is the insurance. That's crazy.
I am sorry. That is just yeah.
And it's all good. We're in a good place now, so that's good.
That's good. So it seems like really stable right now. And
yeah. But it's like that I'm trying to figure out a way to like get they just sell like those type of medicine infusions, like the black market. Like, y'all selling the Remicade for the low?
Oh my God. Wow. Yeah, no, that's so horrific. Well, that's just terrible. I'm thinking all these things, like, why don't you go to DC and organize like a rally or like lobby Congress or all these things? I don't know.
Man, I've done, well, I haven't done all of that, but I've done some things, and there's been some dope things though. Johnson & Johnson actually paid for Remicade for a year, paid for the procedure. Yeah. So I said, with $15,000 a month, they paid for a whole year. The company that makes the medicine gave me like $20,000 I could use towards whatever my insurance don't cover. So I've been maneuvering around trying to get things in case something else happened. I have these things to help. So
No,
I've
that's
figured
great.
out ways to maneuver through this crazy insurance stuff that we have, health insurance shit that we go through.
Yeah, exactly. It's really terrible. I mean, what an
Right.
ordeal. But good for you for advocating, because yeah, it's awful.
Yeah.
Okay. I just put the cheese on. Okay, so I just put the cheese on our nachos, and I'm supposed to make a second layer of the nachos, but honestly, I feel like I don't know. I'm just holding them up to the video. Like it feels like a pretty full um, pan of nachos.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I don't know, and it's just me right now. And my cat died because I mean she
Oh,
might have liked the
I'm
nachos.
sorry.
Yeah, thank you. But she's not here. So yeah, it's just me. So anyway, I think I'm
Oh,
gonna go with this amount of nachos for now. And I'm gonna put it in the oven for 7 minutes. Um, and then while it's in the oven, I have to make one other thing, and it's called ghee. Well, I'm supposed to use ghee, which is a special type of it's like a really thick butter, but I couldn't find it, so I'm using olive oil, and I'm using cumin, ground cumin, and cayenne pepper, and I have to heat that up for just a couple minutes. So
okay.
yeah. So Ben, how like let me just set my little timer that always breaks. Um, this damn timer. Okay. So how have you learned to kind of navigate the world then? If this is something like, when did you start, like, did you start losing your sight in the last 10 years, 5 years?
Yeah, it's been about 10. It's been gradually decreasing since about 14. But
Okay.
at
Mhm.
that time, it was just getting glasses and I'll be okay. But I
Okay.
didn't really become like legally blind or super visually impaired. Super visually impaired. I say about 10 years ago. That's kind of when I
Okay.
like stopped driving. When I stopped driving, and
Oh man.
I
Yeah.
almost I knew it was time for me to stop driving when I went to a drive-through and I knocked my side mirror off.
Oh
Uh,
geez.
I, I didn't even know that I was that close. Okay, yeah, this is over with. I thought I was good. Um, but yeah, so there's actually a lot of resources in the city
Mm-hmm.
that helps. One place is called the Illinois Center of Rehabilitation and Education.
Mm-hmm.
Called ICRE, and that's the initials. But they help people with visual impairment reach whatever goals they're trying to reach. So you have people that want to get back in the workplace, live independently, just know how to maneuver around being visually impaired, help them emotionally, mentally, whatever you have. They're there to help. So there's a lot of people. Anybody can lose their vision. A lot of people, been working, PhD, uh, teenagers, just help people learn how to get back to the place that they want to be. Like, I have a degree in economics and I was
Mm-hmm.
working
Oh,
and it was my vision. I couldn't read the computer anymore.
oh my
So I
God.
couldn't work efficiently as I would need to. But this place helps you uh, learn how to use software that these places may have, learn how to read Braille, learn how to use the cane efficiently. So I know how to read Braille. I know how to read Braille. I know how to use the cane efficiently. I
Mm-hmm.
use different softwares, and now I work for the state during the day. So
And
my
say that last sentence again. What
I,
today?
I work I work for the state.
Ah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but that place really helped. Illinois Center of Rehabilitation and Education really helped me get confidence in myself and you know learn how to do things as if I didn't have vision loss.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah.
people think because you have vision, you don't. I've noticed some people think because you have a disability or whatever, they think you kind of not smart enough or don't can't do certain things. Like no, I graduated from college. Like I've these jobs. It's not that. It's just I just can't see things, or I can't see things well. So once I get that, I can continue on with the knowledge that I have to continue to do what I need to do. And same thing with comedy. Just help me get to the stage. I'm gonna make people laugh.
No, you definitely do make people laugh. That's for sure.
I always ask, like, how many steps is on that stage? Because I don't want to. That's like my biggest fear, like tripping up the stage, going to the stage. So I ask a lot of questions.
Yeah, right. As you should. I mean, of course, it helps you navigate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like at work, so you read Braille,
Mm-hmm.
and then at work, do you like there are accommodations in place or things that you've set up?
Yes. There's a lot of accommodations. I have like this software called Zoom Text, or your computer screen that just zooms in. There's a lot of magnifications on like a lot of things. Change the size of the mouse cursor, the color. You can invert the screen. It does a lot of pretty amazing things visually. I have like these magnifiers. It's like a magnifying glass, but it's digital. So you can kind of change the color, invert the colors, whatever, zoom in and out, take a picture. I have like these pens. They call like 20/20 pens, but they're kind of like Sharpies. So just in case you want to write, they're pretty bold, so you can see your writing.
Wow.
There's a lot of little small tools that go the long way.
Yeah. I mean, things I would, of course, never ever think of, and it's so cool. Yeah.
Man, it's so many things. I have one thing like at home for cooking. I have like a spatula, but it's a 2-tong spatula. So sometimes, if you try to flip a hamburger over, you can't see it.
Yes.
But you can clamp down on a hamburger and then flip it over. And that's so damn helpful.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, I made our ghee, which is one of the sauces that we're gonna put on the nachos, and I added a little pinch of cayenne pepper, which is some extra spice. And then we have our cilantro chutney, and what else? I felt like there was one. Oh, this is interesting. The recipe calls for a 1/4 cup of maple syrup or some other sweet thing, but that I didn't have. So I used maple syrup, and I'm supposed to mix it with, my goodness, a tablespoon of lime juice, which I'll do now. And I don't even need to measure that. I'll just pour it in. Who cares?
Pour it in.
Oh,
Nobody
come on.
cares.
Yeah, no big deal. So Ben, tell me more about stand-up. So you do talk about being blind on stage, but like what other what other topics do you talk about? Like
I talk like a lot of experiences, observations, things that I just go through. So this is like dating, dating, growing up, getting older, getting to adult life, get into my mid-30s. Just talking about just growing up, I guess this is life. I try to talk about things that people can relate to. Just getting older, money, thinking about dating, what have you. I think that's a big thing about comedy. It's not just being funny, but being able to relate. You can say a joke and people in the crowd like, okay, I know what you're talking about, or I understand that. I think that's the connection that really gets your crowd, get your following. So I just talk about basic things I think everybody else is going through.
Yeah, totally. I heard you on Drink, Date, Laugh, or no, sorry. Singles Only, that podcast. And I heard you talking some about dating and I mean just like normal stuff that everyone can relate to. And
I going through vision, that was my vision loss. I was thinking like, okay, dating might be hard, who want to be with a blind guy, but it's not. It's the same. Once you get that over, like a lot of people they just feel like, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's good. Okay, let's go.
totally. I
And we,
would imagine.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think that's
but
me being so nervous
Mhm.
or whatever. But
Who is nervous?
that was just me just being so nervous about it, about vision, talking to somebody. But you know,
Yeah,
I'm just glad, she stopped talking to me, not because of my vision, but because of me.
right. It's not your eyesight, it's just you.
It's just you. Like, okay, cool. That's
And that makes you feel that's comforting.
yeah. That's a little.
Yeah. Yeah, oh my God, Ben. Um, okay, I just put on our cilantro. I'm gonna put on some of this maple syrup, and then I'm gonna put on our olive oil with the spices. And so, God, I really wish you were here. Um,
That sounds good.
I know it's gonna be really good. I hope.
No, it
uh,
is.
let's see.
With the chunky.
I got the chunky, and this is hot. This olive oil mixture is quite hot. I think it's also going to have a little kick to it. So do you cook at home? Do you do cooking?
Yes, I
Yeah.
cook a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, what do you like to make?
I'm just trying a lot of new stuff. Again, just ordering Blue Apron and
Yeah.
whatever's on the menu, I just make it. So I made, what did I make the other day? I made shrimp fried, no, wait. Shrimp fried cauliflower rice.
Oh.
So that
Wow.
was pretty good. I made some scallops. I made honey sriracha chicken breast. That was great.
Oh.
Honey,
Yeah.
marinate some chicken breast with honey, sriracha, soy sauce, and some lime juice. Yeah, this is okay. I can cook. I didn't even know I could cook. I'm proud of myself.
You should be. That is super gourmet. Holy moly. Okay, I'm gonna just try a little bit of this. I had Scott Duff on last week, and he's the one who didn't tell me I had dried blood on my face. And so we were actually sharing a microphone because I had some tech challenges. And so then we both like chewed into the microphone, like those weird videos where people make noises.
Yeah.
So now I feel very self-conscious because I am going to do that, but I'm going to try this. I'm going to try our nachos.
Okay.
Whoa. They're good.
Good. Yeah.
Like, good.
Nice,
Mm-hmm.
nice. Man, I wish I was there.
I know, me too. Okay, well, I'll send you this recipe,
Sounds
and
good.
I highly recommend. Yeah.
That mean it's good. That mean it's good.
It's really good. Holy moly. I always impress myself when I make something really good.
Yeah.
I'm like, I did this.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I'm like, ooh, I just boiled this hot dog. Ooh, this is good. Man, I am amazing.
It's so satisfying. You're like, yes. I actually thought about making hot dogs because I know that you're a native Chicagoan, and I was like, what could I make that would be like a Chicago classic? But
Yeah.
I haven't been cooking with meat very much, so I just kind of wanted to stay on this other path where you don't slaughter animals and all of that. So but Ben, I do want to also talk about how did you grow up? And I know that you're from Inglewood. I've heard you say that. Maybe it was you were on the news, which was super cool. Yeah, but I was just curious about your background and what it was like growing up for you.
Yeah. Lived in Inglewood. Grew up, born and raised in Inglewood, lived in Inglewood, and growing up was pretty cool, man. It was a lot of fun. I think, I think one of the starts, I said Jay Leno, but another start of me being against the comedy was, living in Inglewood, just living in the hood. You got to learn how to talk about people. You got to learn how to roast, and like with anybody, your family, your mama, your auntie, anybody to talk about you. And that was fun, and I think that kind of helped. That did help me become a comedian and just be funny in itself. But just that alone, just having fun and playing basketball. My parents allowed us to, have fun there, but I'm so grateful my parents, they let us travel as well. So during the summer, we used to go everywhere, go to Orlando, Toronto, New York, LA. So I had no complaints about growing up. It was just a lot of fun. They able to express ourselves in whatever, we want to do. A lot, able to big on education. That's like, went to college, graduated. And growing up, it was very important to become very important in helping becoming the man that I am today. Just fun, but also learning to enjoy life, also taking care of business, education, hustling, all that good stuff. Just so growing up there definitely had helped me a lot to become the person I am right now.
Yeah. So it sounds like your parents, encouraged you to travel and explore. Do you have siblings too?
Yeah. I have 2 older sisters, 1 older brother, and 2 younger brothers.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a big family.
Yeah, pretty nice size family. A lot of fighting.
Yeah, totally. No, that's really cool. Yeah, I know. It's like I've lived in the city for 20 years, so a good chunk of time, and I work for city colleges, and so one of the campuses, of course, is Kennedy King College, and so I've spent some time. It's right at 63rd and Halsted, so I've had some exposure to the neighborhood, and I've met some really amazing people. But I also know that, it seems like a challenging place in a lot of ways. Just, the physical environment can be challenging, I think. And like, I don't know. It just like Inglewood itself, just that name, that neighborhood probably like brings up certain ideas to
for people. Exactly. Yeah. That's that area. It's so great that you worked out. Where I grew up is literally walking distance.
Wow, crazy.
That's where I live and grew up. So, but yeah, just in that, Inglewood itself, and not even just Inglewood, but just the South Side, there's many communities, but we don't get the same chances as other communities and other places. So, and it's kind of like, I don't know how to say it, but like a lot of people in those areas are kind of starting with a bad deck of cards. So it's kind of like, there's not much help. It's actually like a food desert. Not many schools are closing. It's just a whole lot of stuff that can go wrong. But what people don't really know is like, you hear Inglewood, of course, you hear what society puts out, what you see on the news, but you don't hear people like me that live there. You don't hear people that's graduated. And it's not a rare thing. Most people from Inglewood are people that are really trying to advance in life and just like anybody else. But for some reason, when we hear Inglewood on the news, we just hear about the bad stuff. And don't get me wrong, there's the bad stuff. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but it's way more things in Inglewood and the South Side in general than what you just see in the news. And you know it too, because you work, so you see it firsthand. But it's like it's a lot of dope people there.
No, the community, like everyone that I've encountered at Kennedy King, like staff and students, I work in adult education, and so you know, it's all kinds of students who are in adult ed, which is really cool. And so there's a lot of the students are there because they want to improve their lives. They want to get a career and help support their families, of course, and be an inspiration to their kids. And it's the same reasons that I hear from students on the north side, or it's just, that's what they're there to do, to improve their lives. And it's a really nice like community. The folks, especially at Kennedy King, like it feels very homey to me.
Yeah, that Kennedy King got that used to be a long time ago. It used to be like a strip of stores. Like growing up, it used to be like a mall area all down 63rd, and it's crazy. Like that's a nice school. That's a nice school over there. And then, you know, recently they threw up the Starbucks and the Whole Foods across the street from it, and I'm like, okay, this is nice. Okay.
That was a big to do. The Starbucks and the Whole Foods and the Chipotle, and
I got a joke about that. A new joke about the Starbucks.
Tell me.
The joke is, you know, they're building up. when you see a Starbucks in the hood, that's a sign of gentrification coming, right? But it's like, I like it because they hire people that's in the area. Like, it's so cool. Like, it's a lot of gangsters that work at Starbucks. But I love it because they use great customer service, but they talk about you at the same time. Like, one day I went to Starbucks, like, can I get a caramel macchiato? And he just started talking about it. Like, boy, get your caramel macchiato head ass out of here, boy. Is that grande head ass? Like, Ben, how are you talking about me? I'm trying to get some coffee, sir. Have a great day.
Yeah. It's just like you said, it's like, it's just like infusing that personality, you know, on into that customer service.
Yeah. Well, it makes it Inglewood. But no, it's you know, it's cool. I really enjoy that area.
Yeah.
There are some bad apples, I will say that, but for the most part, man, it's a dope area, and it's coming up too. It's really coming up in a lot of spaces. A lot of people are trying to help the community. A lot more businesses. I think I told you it was a food desert for so long.
Yes.
So grocery stores are being built, schools are opening up. Pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's good to hear like positive things and to hear from someone who is from that neighborhood. And is your family still there then?
Yeah, they're still there. Like I literally I'm in the West Loop now, but I just moved like a few months ago.
Wow.
So
yeah, you're in the fancy part of town now.
Like, who are you? You changed. I haven't changed. I haven't even gone 90 days. But no, it's my family's still over there. A lot of my good friends' family still over there. So I visit often. It was cool. Still cool. Yeah.
No, that's great. That's great. Okay, so tell me about your future, Ben Noble. Like, what are you thinking for the next few years? Like, what are some of your goals coming up and some things you'd like to accomplish?
Yes, man. One of the things I'm trying to accomplish is getting more consistent on social media. I think that's one of my biggest flaws. I'm just not a social media person like that, but I know that's one of the major things you have to have. So one of my goals is really to start pushing out content. Because I think I have a little following, but being able to just have more content, I think that'll build your following, build your followers on Instagram and social media, and get more eyes looking at you for the next goal that you want to do. And, I need to really, really work on that. And that's a goal that I'm working on now for the next, 1 or 2 years. And, so on. Also, I write a lot as well. a lot of scripts. Do a lot of I wrote late night packets, pilots. So one of my goals is definitely to try to become a staff writer, or just have some type of writing credit for something. So yeah, I definitely want to be a writer for sure.
Excellent. Those are great goals. Is there anything else you were going to say?
And then keep stand-up going, just tour more tours across the country. I did before COVID, I did a 10-day tour in Canada, in Edmonton, Canada. Ooh. So that was like my first international comedy run. So let's build on that. Just continue doing more shows, headline a lot more, go other places across the world. Did Canada, want to hit Mexico, go across this big sea, go to Europe, London, whatever. So I'm just ready to use this passport and do a lot more comedy.
Yeah, no, that's great. And it's a really fun way to travel because it's kind of some built-in structure, and you get to meet people and talk to people, but you're also exploring. And
being able to go to Canada, it showed me that my jokes resonate regardless of who's in the crowd. I think you think of, maybe just Americans or just Chicagoans to get your jokes. But funny is funny. If you're funny, it doesn't really matter where you're from. You're going to laugh. So that kind of helped me a lot. And I want to explore more with that. Just doing shows with people from a lot of different cultures. And that's definitely something that I want to do soon, like this year.
Yeah, like next month.
Right.
No, that's great. And then one final question, and I feel like we'll be wrapping up. But Ben, what advice would you give to new comics or new performers?
Advice I would give to new comics, new performers is write a lot. Write it down. Whatever idea you have, write it down. Just write. Just have a lot of material, regardless if you're going to say it on stage, regardless if you're going to keep it. But write down your stuff. I know a lot of comedians, at least when I started as well too. Like, I don't write. I just go on stage and just do whatever. But if you want to be professional and have longevity, write down your jokes, write down your ideas, and not word for word, but just, if you don't have to do word for word, but just jot stuff down. Keep a notebook, write it in your phone, however you want to keep that information. Always have a backlog with just joke ideas that you can always pick from, go from. It'll bring back ideas. It can bring up something else, but I'm big on just writing. Write.
Yeah. No, that's super smart. That's good advice.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
And listen, kids, write.
Yeah, exactly. Truly. But I should say that I have seen lots of Instagram posts from you. Like, I was just kind of scrolling through some stuff this weekend, and I really like a lot of your posts, like the Braille stories.
Yeah.
Very funny.
See, but that's what I was talking about content. People always ask, when are you going to put some more Braille stories out? So I need to check those out. So I'm putting those out more.
Just keep
people love those.
Yeah, no, they're great. It's like you reading Braille, and it sounds like it's going to be super educational, and then you just switch, and it's something ridiculous. And I love it. Okay, I'm going to take a picture of us real quick on Zoom. So just know that that's happening. 1, 2, 3, and just because I'm a huge nerd. And Ben, you have been fabulous. Like I said, folks can catch you all over Chicago. I know you headline Zanies. I know you have shows coming up at North Bar, I think.
Yes, June 3rd at North Bar, 8 o'clock. Yep.
Wonderful. And you're at Laugh Factory, and you're online, you're on social media.
Yeah.
So we've got all the things. I want to say thank you to you and the Lincoln Lodge, lots of other podcasts and shows at the Lincoln Lodge. And thank you to Christine Ferreira. And that is a wrap. Thanks so much, Ben Noble, for joining for Hot Dish.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much.